Alright, it's Randall back for another video. It's amazing. I went so long in between making videos. Now I've got some better equipment. I'm actually making videos again. Tonight we're going to start off, and well, maybe we won't start off with the story, but maybe let's get right into this. We're going to talk about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is the conservative host of a show on Fox News. No shock. And the people in Fox, they've said idiotic things. All right, Judge Jeannie Pereira, or whatever her name is, she seems to be the home run leader when it comes to idiotic statements, especially now that Bill O'Reilly is no longer there. But Tucker wants that spot. He wants to leapfrog Sean Hannity. He wants to leapfrog Judge Jeannie when it comes to idiotic things. Tucker Carlson went out and spoke in front of millions of people, because millions of people do watch his show. And he said white supremacy in America is a myth. He said it's a hoax. Just like he said Russia is a hoax. Well, Tucker, there's this little thing called the Mueller report. If you read it, it actually details greatly that it was not a hoax, that Russia actually did make overtures to the Trump campaign to interfere in our elections. In fact, Donald Trump Jr., who apparently has never seen a crime show, decided to talk to Russian agents on a cell phone heading to LaGuardia. But there's something... As upset I am that Tucker would actually go live on air and say something that irresponsible, that the Holocaust never happened, or not the Holocaust never happened, but that white supremacy was a myth. There are people out there that think the Holocaust never happened. Just like there are people that think Sandy Hook never happened. And the parents who lost children that day had to live with crackpots calling them and finding them on social media and telling them, you had no kid that died, just be honest, come forward and say, hey, it was a hoax, when it wasn't. That's what got Alex Jones thrown off of social media, was the fact that he kept saying it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, and then finally he said, guys, I only said it was a hoax just to get ratings. But in the time we are in now, to go out and say that white supremacy is a hoax in America is irresponsible. Okay, Tucker, the man actually knows history, believe it or not. He was part of Robert Wool's 2 history specials that he did for HBO. So it's not like we're dealing with an idiot here, okay? Even though Tucker seems to talk like one. But to go out there and say in front of cameras, millions of people, you're reaching millions of people and you're telling them white supremacy does not exist, the left made it up, when we have footage from the 1960s of policemen turning fire hoses and dogs on African American men, women, and children. Let's look at the fact that a 14-year-old boy, Emmett Till, was brutally murdered by white supremacists because he supposedly whistled at a white woman, and the white woman on her deathbed decided to say, oh yeah, I made that up. Little boy is dead because she made something up, because she did not care for black people. When you go ahead and you go out there and you say that something like white supremacy is a hoax, you do not know the damage you are doing. And you're doing a considerable amount of damage. Flat out, let's be honest. Because right now, there is somebody on Twitter, Facebook, social media in general, who's saying, see, I told you. CNN, liberal media, they made it up. There's no such thing as white supremacy in America. Ha! And all that does So next time a Latino family, African American family, is out shopping, eating at a restaurant, and somebody says, go back home, drops the N-bomb on them, and just any of the horrific things you can imagine them doing, they now are empowered to do that, all because of what Tucker said on his show this past Tuesday night. And it just, having any grasp of history in this country, any grasp of what's been going on since Trump took office, and to try to say white supremacy is a hoax, it's irresponsible. It could very well get somebody killed. That's not hyperbole. It's going to get somebody assaulted. It's going to do damage. It's going to do damage. And the fact that Fox News hasn't issued a statement, although I heard that they don't like tweeting anymore. Yeah. At least come out and either condemn Tucker Carlson's statement, or say you abide by it, that you stand by it. It's either A or B. You don't get another choice. And I know I could try to appeal to the people that watch Tucker's show, but I know a couple things. A, they're not going to be watching my videos. Just by looking at the titles, they're not going to be watching my videos. 2, they don't care. They've already had their minds made up for them. Trump has told them Fox News is the only media outlet you can trust. They're the only ones reporting the truth. Everybody else is fake news. And when you have Tucker Carlson going out there and saying white supremacy does not exist, it's a hoax, Russia is a hoax, they're going to eat that up. They're going to look at that as vindication. I never thought that I would see this. I mean, I've always joked I wanted to relive the 60s. I want to be a part of that, but I want to be part of the Woodstock, free love, hippie movement. I would never want to have to go through the racial tensions that they went through in the 60s. And sadly, it's coming back. It's coming back because you had a president who refused to condemn Klansmen at Charlottesville. It's coming back because when David Duke, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, a man who once ran for president back in 1988, I believe it was, who Donald Trump claims, oh, I've never heard of him. Were you living on a frickin' rock? Everyone's heard of David Duke. If you weren't familiar with him through his rhetoric or his campaign run for president, you got an introduction to the little piece of crap through The Black Klansman from Spike Lee, which, by the way, one of the greatest movies of all time. It nearly eclipses Do the Right Thing as one of Spike's greatest epics. But you go out there, you call white supremacy a hoax, and you have a president who is flat out, time and time again, flat out refused to say anything about the fact that the Klan endorses him. That you have a president who calls Mexicans rapists and murderers, who states that Muslims are only coming here to kill us. A man whose hallmark of his presidency has been to create a divide and instill fear. You do that, and you're creating a dangerous bomb, so to speak, a ticking time bomb. Words matter. Words do matter, especially when you're talking to an already amped up base. I've never been one to call for censorship, but Fox News, there are lines that have to be drawn, just like the old saying goes, you can't yell fire in a movie theater. You can't go out there and say that white supremacy does not exist in America, especially to a base that is devout to a president who second-handedly endorses white supremacy. All I can say is we're heading down a road, and there's a fork in the road. We can either be on the right side of history, or we can take a dangerous turn and head towards authoritarianism, totalitarianism, and fascism, because that's what 4 more years of Trump is going to bring. I was not expecting to get this heavy on this video when I started it. I just planned on mentioning how I thought what Tucker did was wrong, how he's talking to a base that's going to eat it up, and it was just ammo for a very, very dangerous situation. I do want to thank everybody that's stayed with me this, almost 12 minutes. I apologize if I ramble. It's just being a student of history. I mean, those books, I'm not somebody who's going to read Tom Clancy. You know, I'm more of a Jeffrey Ward, David McCullough type of reader. Those are all on American history, Civil War, you name it. So when I say that I see us heading down the road to the 60s, where you had the World War sit-ins that led to beatings, and you had the Watts riots, policemen turning dogs on African Americans simply because they chose to protest, that's the road we're heading down. And we need to do something. And we need to do it quick. Party allegiance be damned. Republicans, you need to find somebody other than Trump. Republicans need to take an unprecedented step and nominate anybody but Trump. Nominate John Kasich, maybe. He might actually swing you some of those moderates. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope I gave everybody something to think about. I will see you next time. Have a great night and a better tomorrow.